Hi, I'm Elena, and we're here to talk about ocean alkalinity enhancement. Now, dumping things into the ocean is typically seen as a really bad thing. Millions of pieces of plastic and other hazardous materials are dumped into the ocean every single day. You may be asking how this relates to OAE, or ocean alkalinity enhancement. Well, in simple terms, OAE involves dumping large amounts of alkaline minerals such as limestone into the ocean. Dumping alkaline minerals has the exact opposite outcome of dumping plastic. But before we get into the pros and cons of OAE, let's set the scene of how this process works chemically.
In order to understand more about how this works, we need to first talk about the ocean carbon cycle. Carbon is an important element for life, and it is in the atmosphere, water, and even soil. Carbon moves between the atmosphere and the ocean through the carbon pump. To start, phytoplankton at the surface of the water absorbs CO2 through photosynthesis. When the phytoplankton die or are consumed by other animals, the CO2 is released into the ocean and begins reacting with water to form carbonic acid. Carbonic acid dissociates to form bicarbonate and carbonate ions. The equation for this is shown above. Alkalinity is the excessive bases such as these, and it's a fancy way to say that the pH of the water is more basic. The more basic the ocean is, the more capacity it has to absorb and store carbon molecules. A method to increase the alkalinity of the ocean is by adding powdered alkaline minerals such as limestone into the ocean. An increase of this pushes this equation to the right, making the water more basic.
Now that we understand how ocean alkalinity enhancement works, let's talk about potential benefits. Scientific models show that after 75 years of using OAE, it could increase the ocean's ability to sequester carbon dioxide by 156 gigatons. Let's break that number down. 1 gigaton is equal to 1 billion metric tons, which is 2.2 trillion pounds. So even with the ocean being so vast, this increase in the ability to sequester carbon is unmatched. Decreasing the amount of carbon in the atmosphere is the key to mitigating climate change, as it lowers the surface temperature of the water. OEE will also directly counteract ocean acidification. Ocean acidification is detrimental to organisms as it reduces the amount of calcium carbonate available, a crucial component of shell formation. OEE helps restore this balance of calcium carbonate ions in the water, saving both organisms and coral reefs.
While it would be extremely beneficial to our environment to remove some of the CO2 that's currently in our atmosphere, this process also has some large drawbacks. The true impact of coastal alkalinity on nearshore and seashore wildlife and vegetation are presently unknown.
Experiments in small laboratory scales have been performed to examine the effect on ecosystems. However, these small experiments are not representative of the complex ecosystems in our oceans. All waters have different species and pH levels that will respond differently, and it is difficult to predict how each ecosystem will respond. The next step would be to take the limestone dumping to the ocean and test it on small sections. However, this is not safe yet. Once deployed in ocean, OAE could increase levels of toxic metals and other minerals, or alter the mix of phytoplankton present. Also, did you know that this project would cost about 500 to 800 billion per year, which is 8 times the international climate funding pledged by parties to the United Nations framework?
So after learning about ocean alkalinity enhancement, do you think the positives outweigh the negatives?